Well, good Saturday afternoon to you guys. But I'll tell you what, after all that rain, what a beautiful day it turned out to be, you guys. So what I'm going to do right now is that there seem to be some questions about all the stuff that the volcano stove or oven can actually do. So what I thought was I would go ahead and I'm going to do what I call my 2.5 hour brisket. Now I usually give it a little bit of smoke, so 3, 4 hours, just depends on what kind of flavors that you're looking for. But because of the Dutch oven and because of what this stove can do, not only can you barbecue on it first off, but you can use gas, you can use charcoal, you can use wood. So this stove is an all the way around stove for the adventurer like me. That's why I have three of them. So you've got a smoker stack that you can stick on top of it, and I'll show you that in here in a little bit. But right now, let's get that brisket started because it's going to take us about 2.5 hours to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my cast iron, which is well seasoned and well used, right? So I'm going to get that on there. And then I want to put my brisket onto this as it gets hot because I'm just going to want to brown it. And then I'm going to want to put it into my lodge stove, okay? My Dutch oven. And then this volcano is going to cook that Dutch oven, this Dutch oven for me at the perfect temperature every time, you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. This is starting to heat up there a little bit, and then we'll brown up that first piece of brisket. So I sort of thought that this was the perfect example of what all this Dutch oven can do, or what the volcano can do. So first off, it doesn't get hot underneath, okay? So I've got gas in it right now, and I literally can set it on this table that you see, and it won't burn the table underneath it. So let's say I wanted to boil crab and I was out. I could boil crab in this. I literally there's not anything that you can't do with this thing. Boil, braise, bake, smoke, fry. Just as a great tool to have when you're out having an adventure, everybody. Um, so let's see, is that it was hot before, but I'm just gonna wait till it gets that sizzling hot, right? Um, so then it has a smoking bag that goes on top of it, and I can show that to you guys here in a second. But let's go ahead and get this beef browned up, and then we'll put it into our lodge, which I have the larger lodge. This one's only the 10 quart, and there's a reason why I want to use the 10 quart, because that I put the onions on the bottom, okay? And that's part of what we're going to do to break down this brisket so fast to make it cook up to where it's actually very tender and very tasty within a matter of 2.5 hours. Because as everybody knows, a brisket could take up to 14 hours to cook, you guys. So this is a lot simpler of a recipe, and it's a lot more tenderer too. And it gets better flavors if you put it on your smoker as well. So let's see. We're almost there. So how's everybody doing today? It looks like we have 8 people in. Thank you everybody for joining. Enjoy this part of this adventure today. And if I could ask if everybody hit the like button, not that I care, but I guess it helps the algorithm so you guys know that when I'm going live, right? And I've been out salmon fishing, which the salmon came in last night. I tried to go live because they were just literally jumping all around us, right? And the rain and the cloud cover just stopped me from going live. I think even if I had the Starlink out there with me, I don't think I would have been able to keep up with that live. But there was no wind, and the water just laid down flat, so we were able to troll and watch those fish come in. Man, what an experience, you guys. That was just a beautiful sight to see. I mean, the birds, the fish, just the seals, everything was just super active last night on super calm water. So sorry I didn't record that adventure for you guys, but I was out with Chase and Chrome and I didn't want him to show me up, right? So I just didn't do it. Oh yeah, now we're ready. Okay, so I already trimmed this brisket. I already trimmed it, so I got a little bit of fat left on it, and that's what I want. I want a little bit of fat. There we go. That's the sound I'm looking for. So I want to sizzle this down till it turns brown. So I'm going to give it about, oh, I'd say about 8 to 10 minutes on each side. I'll make sure that it's good and brown. And then we're going to put it into our large oven. And I cut it into two pieces because our briskets, we have our beef raised for us. And our briskets are really big. So I just cut them down and make them so that so they'll fit into the cast iron and they'll fit into the lodge Dutch oven. So I'm glad that we're joining. Okay, that's 22. So everybody, thank you for joining this live. I'm working a brisket right now. That's only going to take 2.5 hours to cook, you guys. It's an amazing recipe, and oh my God, does it taste good. So I just ask, I got 2 likes. If somebody could hit the likes up button, I would appreciate it. And this is the most I've ever had on one of my lives, and I like that, right? So I hope that everybody's having a great Saturday. And as you can see, this brisket is starting to do its browning thing, right? So as it browns on that side, I'll then flip it over and brown the other side. And then it's going to go into this lodge, okay, which then is going to go onto this volcano stove. And it's going to slow boil it on top of those onions for an hour. And then after that hour, we're going to take and we're going to open up the can of diced tomatoes, which this is about the time I spice it. These are the Italian diced potatoes, right? So, and I really, really, really like these diced potatoes, tomatoes, because that it helps break down the brisket as well. Okay, let's see what I got for questions here. All right, nothing much. Yep, not a whole lot. Ah, Mr. Flanders, you're going to get to see one of my favorite recipes. And how well that this volcano stove works. This thing is such an amazing piece of equipment. At 169 is what they were before, but it's a complete kit with cookbooks, extra grades, smoke bag, the whole bit. I'm telling you, something that you can cook with wood, with charcoal, or with gas is worth having with you. And this thing folds down into a bag that's this wide, about 6 inches wide. It's just an amazing stove. And if you see, I'm sliding my hand underneath. It doesn't get hot. It actually is a volcano. It moves the heat up, right? So I can see the blood starting to rise on this side. So we're just about the first part of the browning on this, you guys. Let's take a look at it. And that browning of this beef is so important, you guys, for the recipe that we use here. So don't rush it. Take your time. Get it to where it's sizzling good and hot. And I can always turn the heat up too, but I like it to slowly let that blood come up to one side, and then I'll flip it over and let the blood come up on the other side. And that's when it's ready to go into the Lodge Dutch oven, which I can hear it sizzling good now. So anyway, so after I get this uh, brisket browned on both of them, and get them into the lodge, I'll show you guys how to set the lodge up on here. And then what I'm going to do is I have actually perfected my color coding on my blades, which is something that you guys know that I've been working on for quite some time. And the reason why I was perfecting it is that I wanted an eyeball on a blade that actually moved with the blade. So it was a color shift 3D effect without putting anything but color to it. Well, guess what, guys? It's now perfected. So I'm going to be tying those spinners up here after we get both sides of this brown. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. So now we'll wait for the blood to rise up on this side here. Okay, I've got just a little bit of brown here and the brown on this side, but I'll take a little bit of the darker brown. And it's sort of flavor, it's important for the flavor, you guys. So do you guys want to see one of those blades? So I'm real happy with these. Um, so I don't know if it's showing because it might be a little bit bright, but that eyeball turns with the blade. So that was the effect that I was looking for. Um, and the reason for that is because that this blade is just going to be spinning around and around and around and around, right? And it's candied on the back, it's candied on the front, with a little bit extra. So, and I already have the beads that I know last year were just killing them for us, and other people that actually came in and purchased them. So yeah, we're pretty excited about what these guys are going to turn out like. All right, so this first piece is just about ready to go in, you guys. And let me show that again. Okay, so I don't want to brown these onions. I just want these onions in here like this, right? I want them whole. I don't want them all super fine. I want them so that when I lay this beef on top of them and the other piece, I didn't want to lose a lot of that juice that's inside of this onion, okay? So this piece of brown brisket is now going to go on top of this onions. And we got just about a minute left of that. And then we'll get started on the second part of that brisket, because that we've got it brown now. And then like I said, I'm going to lay it on top of these onions, okay? And then I'll start that second piece. I mean, for this is a 2.5 hour brisket, you guys. It's just unheard of, right? So pay attention because this thing, you can do it at your house on your Dutch oven at your house too. Okay, so in goes the second piece. And just for the reason of expediency, because that this piece is going to be on top, I'm actually going to turn that Dutch oven up just to, I mean, the volcano stove that you're seeing here, I'm going to turn it up just a hair. So I just absolutely love this thing when I'm out on an adventure, you guys, because that I can do all of these different things with it, right? I've got a grill on my camper, but it just doesn't do justice to what this actual setup can do. Um, and the other thing too is if I'm camping out and not bringing, because I still like sleeping in a tent. I like getting out and doing some adventures. Sometimes you can't, although our RV is made to get into different places. Sometimes you just can't get an RV in there, so you need a tent setup, wall tent, or whatever. And this guy just works so well inside of there, right? You could cook inside, like you can see, I can stick my hand underneath the stove, and it's not hot underneath here because that all of that heat is coming up. And I know I'm repeating myself, but it's important to explain what this thing can do and how it's designed because it just really works so well. I see I got 6 more people in. Thank you, everybody. And I got 8 thumbs up. That's really great, you guys. I was sort of hoping that you would enjoy sort of a kickback if you were still hanging out, adventure at home, or I'm at the store right now. And we're actually doing this for our neighbors and a friend. He has got a lot of people at his house for a memorial. And I figured that after they were all said and done, they were going to be pretty tired. So I figured, okay, I'll pull out one of my briskets so we can feed an army, right? And then for me, after I do the 2.5 hour brisket, sometimes I really do like that smoke flavor on there. So I put some cherry and some apple into this hopper here, and I'm going to give it an apple and cherry flavor. I'm probably going to go ahead and put on the Cabela seasoning, this one here. If you guys haven't tried this one yet, it's the steak rub. Oh my goodness, it's so good. So yeah, I really do like this seasoning. So I'll put that on at the very end, you guys. Okay, let's give this guy a flip. Oh yeah, that's looking perfect. Okay, so we've got the briskets brown. We got about 3 more minutes on this. And then I'm going to put it in the Dutch oven, and I'll actually take the grate here off the top. And then I'm going to slide down my Dutch oven inside of it. And then I'll show you what the trick is to making a 3.5 hour brisket. That's actually really a 3 hour brisket. It just depends on how high you do the heat. Um, I like that slow roll, so I give it that extra half hour just because I like it that way. But it's super tender. I mean, brisket, if you don't cook it for 10 hours, it just isn't tender, right? And everybody goes, well, that's how you get the flavor into it. No, you're wrong. You can do this way. Let the onion and let the tomato break down the brisket, and then you can add as much flavor as you want to and be done in 4 hours, you guys. It's just ridiculous. And I think it's a more tender brisket than if you're doing the 10 or 12 hour one or 14 hour. I just really like the way this one is because I got dentures and it's a little bit harder to eat tough beef, so I like my beef pretty tender. All right, I can hear that sizzle now. This puppy's just about ready. Yep, that one's looking really good. It's juicing really, really good inside of that Dutch oven. Oh yeah, just about a minute more, guys. We had this fold over here. I want to sort of get browned underneath it. So I did clean up my brisket. I did fillet off the tenant and the layer of skin that's on the top of it. I leave a little bit of fat because I like a little bit of the fat in there for the flavor. So yeah, there is that. All right. I would say that she's ready. Okay, so now I got her browned on both sides. It doesn't have to be blackened. I just wanted it brown for a little bit of flavor. And then I'm going to lay this thicker part down inside of here. Okay, so, and I laid it on top of that whole cooked onion, right? Hang on 1 second. Not too bad. You can still grab a hold of the handle, but it is still hot, everybody. Okay. So the really cool thing about this Dutch oven is, or the volcano stove is that it's got a metal grate down on the inside of it. And here, let me pull this guy off. Okay, let me show you this. So it has this metal grate. Let me see if I got that right. Okay, yeah, you should be able to see it now. It's got the metal grate in the bottom of it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this puppy down, right? And I'm going to get it to a very slow, slow heat. And I can actually see it through my grate, right? I've got my burner set center, right? So, and how you adjust it is that you just come to here, and I'll hold on to you guys. You just come to here, and it's got a regulator right here. So let's see, can you see that regulator yet? Okay, there it is. So this regulator, and then I just tell it to go to close. And I can actually hear it, right? Okay, a little bit more. A little bit more. Oh yeah, that's just right. So just to where you can barely see any flame, you guys, that's going to handle that oven just perfectly. Okay. Let's see, have I got any questions? Oh, he's got Mr. Flanders said that he has a smoked recipe for cod. I can't wait to get that. Uh, oh, thank you about that blade. That blade was a whole year of development, you guys, as well as that most of all my other stuff. You guys know how that goes. With me, I'm always developing something. Okay, so I want to show you guys this being set aside here. Make sure we got your angles right. Okay, so now you can put the biggest Dutch oven that you could find into this, okay? I'm using the smaller 10 quart today. because that I want that brisket sitting on top of this onion and a little bit of beer and a little bit of water. So now we've got this inside of the oven. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the water up to this level of this beef right here, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let those onions for the first hour break down this beef. Then I'm going to take my chopped tomatoes and I'm going to put it in there with it for another hour, hour and a half. You can do an hour if you're going to put it on the Traeger like I am. Okay, so let's get that process started and bring it up to its boil. And usually I have this water just right. Okay, so I got it up to this level right here, right to where it's still covering the edge of this beef, right? And that's what you want. It's not going to hurt the oven at all. You're going to get all of those flavors from that meat. It's going to, of course, permeate what cast iron does. It permeates into that. So then I put this over the top of it, and I'm going to actually wait for this to start to a boil, right? And it's going to let me know. It usually takes about, I'd say about 20 minutes, and then it will come down to a full boil, right? So then that brisket, we're going to boil it at a slow simmer for at least an hour. Okay, so and we'll time that once that gets started. I can actually feel the lid, and the lid is not too bad right now, but eventually I'm going to have to wear one of my heat gloves, right? So definitely. But I'm telling you, in another 2.5 hours, we're going to have a brisket that's so tender and so tasty without any seasoning that you guys are going to go, God, I'm glad I learned that recipe. Everybody in our family that has had this, because it's not the first time I've cooked it. Everybody in the family that's had this has just absolutely loved it, right? That brisket doesn't usually make it through a night. And everybody, please remember to like and subscribe. The channel is starting to grow, and we've got a lot of adventures coming up for you guys this year. I'm trying to get the Starlink to where it's actually feasible to make it work, so that as we're out in the wilderness doing our adventures, you guys can enjoy them, right? Because I want to do them live. I mean, I got all the recording equipment, but why? It's better live. All right. So now we've got that going. Next hour, yeah, it's starting to warm up. So as we're waiting for that to boil, see how she's doing. Oh yeah, she's getting close already. Let's go ahead and just I'll pepper up. So I know my volcano so well that I literally can actually hear um what the flame is doing, but I'm just used to it, right? Because I use it quite a bit. So um that's how I know. And see, I can feel the lid getting hotter and hotter. So I know that this thing's just about to start bubbling and curing, guys. So and then we'll time it for the first hour. And then I thought what we do is that we would go ahead and sit over here, and I wanted to tie up some of those 3.5s for you guys and ladies, so that you can see. First off, we have probably one of the lightest 3.5s ever made because of the beads that we use. Um, but last year, I don't think it was so much the blades because we really were just sort of hand painting them last year. I believe it was those beads. Those beads are just because they're so UV and so glow, and such color when they're not in anything else, just regular water. That the fish were just killing it. I mean, I tagged out, you guys. I was actually having a problem with that because then I'm on a river where we have all wild, so I couldn't tag out on the hatchery, right? So my hatchery tag didn't get filled up. I mean, I went steelhead fishing, but I just didn't fill it. So that's the other thing. Now, this for fish. Um, I did a video. If you go and you look back at it, how I show how to smoke fish, how to cut it, all the rest of it. I did not leave a picture of the fish cooked, and I apologize for that, but I was out camping and just totally forgot because everybody was enjoying the fish and we were having good conversation. So, but at least now we've explained a little bit more about what the volcano stove can do. So, and then, like I said, you just put the smoker stack over the top of it with the grate on it. You can put wood down in it. I usually use the gas, make a little aluminum tray and put some wood on top of it and let it smoke it that way. When I go, I like to have the full propane. That propane, when you get a full tank of propane, literally, if I had to survive for 6 months, I could with this thing, right? So, well, I could survive terminally with it because it burns wood too. And you can make your own charcoal. So, all right. So let's see how. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're almost there, you guys. And we don't want it to come to like a super hard boil. We want it to be that slow roll boil. I see. I got 9 thumbs up, everybody. Thank you. And please, if you're new, like and subscribe because we do lots of adventures. We do documentaries. We just did the first one. We already have the second one going. There's going to be a lot more coming from those, you guys. That one is Into the 66, by the way, and it's on in and on the net. And it's about the 66 miles of lakes in Lapine, Oregon. Oh, well, thank you for loving the streams. I really appreciate that. So let's see. Yeah, that's the official Wesley's. I have such a hard time reading. Oh, outdoors. So and I shouted him out last time, and he shouted me out. What a kind gentleman. Thank you. I hope that you're growing like I'm growing. Because I'm sure we want to keep sharing to everybody, right? I mean, that's what this is for. I don't write all that well, but I speak a lot better, and I'd rather do it this way. Oh yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pull this back just so that I can see it rolling. But in the meantime, why don't we come on in here and let's do up a 3.5. All right, sorry I'm moving you guys all around here. But I figured, what the hey? Let's see if I got that angled right. We can take care of that real quick. All right, let's see. I got you. Yeah, now you guys will see. You'll be able to see. That's my Hagen's right here. I love this piece of equipment, man, as it sure has been a good piece of equipment. So we're going to start off with an O5 wire, you guys, and it's already got a twisted end on it. Sometimes I like that, but see, you know, this one's got a 2-turn on it, but it's really, sometimes I check them all just to make sure that I like what I'm seeing. But anyway, so what we're going to do is that we're going to go ahead and build a 3.5 right now. Oops, I forgot the tubing. So 1 second. Okay, here's. Okay, so I went and got some tubing, which this is a really important part of the 3.5, because that I like um, the side wash. I like a side wash octopus hook, right? I find that I lose less fish on a single hook than I do on the treble. So, okay, so let's start off with our wire, okay? And the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to stick the clevis to this tied end, okay? So you can see that. So we're going to stick the clevis that's going to let the spinner work on the shaft, right? So let me go ahead and get that. I got to get a blade. I forgot to bring those over. All right. So this was uh quite a period of time to come up with these colors. But because of the color shift and the way that we made them, they're actually, the eyeball will actually follow. The eyeball will actually follow the blade now. And that's just a trick of color shift and all the rest of that. So I just, I don't want to sell the fisherman. I want to sell the fish, right? I want that fish to bite on this. Then the fisherman will come. I guess it's like that old movie. Build it and they will come. Okay, so that's the first thing that goes on to this semi-manufactured shaft, right? Is your blade. Then we're going to want to stick something for that blade, which is going to be this small little metal ball for that blade to spin on, right? Because you don't want it left up against these beads that I'm about to use. So let's go ahead and we'll do, let's go ahead and do the pink. And these are super UV beads, you guys. Let's do the pink and the yellow first. And I think that we'll go ahead and put it on that chartreuse and orange. So I like 3 beads on here. So there's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Okay, so that's the way that I like this to look, okay? That's what we call a 3.5. Oops, except for I got the blade on backwards. Ha! Okay, let's redo that. Got to make sure your blade's on right. And I'm just taking it slow. When I'm actually working these things, I can really crank them out, you guys, because I've just been doing it for so long now. Okay, blade on. Right way? Let's see. I had it right the first time. All right, so just check it like this. Watch. So flip it around. Put it back on. All right, once again, we're going to run this through this 0.5 blade, wire. We're going to run it through our clevis. Make sure you get both sides because it is a little bit difficult. And then hold it up like this just to know that you've got your blade on right. That's the trick. Okay, let's see. Can you see that? So then that way you know you got your blade on right. So now we're going to need the metal ball, which is going to sit on top, and it lets that clevis work around those beads. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So now we've got it put together completely right. Okay, so now I think that we're going to go with a yellow on the back of this one. Yeah, let's do a yellow. Let's do the chartreuse on the back of this. So I'm going to cut this tubing. I like a nice clean cut, and sometimes I get in a big hurry and don't do that. So now I'm going to want to cut 2 thumb lengths, okay? So there's 1, there's 2 right there, okay? So 2 thumb lengths. Okay, then I'm going to slide this on, okay? Now, this is what it looks like right now. This is a little bit longer because then I'm going to slide this down over the shank of this side wash, right? And the octopus side wash. This is a number 4, by the way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to crimp right to here, right? I make sure that everything's tied up to the top, and then I'm going to get to my Hagens, and I'm going to put it in so that it turns, right? And it's going to make my eyelet for the back side of this, okay? Okay, so now I've got this on my clevis, right? I'm going to stick that into here. I'm going to put my hook on. Okay. And I like this to slide in this way. Okay, so it locks in right there, okay? So it locks in just like that. Now I'm going to give it a cut. Wrong cutter. I'm going to give it a cut so it gives me a 2-turn, right? I'm going to cut it right there. And it's going to go into my Hagens, and I'm going to do my final knot on this. Now, you have to watch your fingers when you're doing this because that hook will come around and get you. Okay, you want to be very careful. And that's the sound that I want to hear right there. So see, now I have 3 turns on this guy, right? And I know that at that hook end, it's in really good shape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock this hook in place with this tubing. Okay? So I wet it down and slide it down. Okay, then I'm going to bring this down. Now, this is too long of a shank, thank God, because that I just don't like that number 1 roll. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a cut. And you're better off to do a 2-turn on the top of this because we're catching 20 to 25 pound salmon. I mean, they're smaller, but if you do get into a 20, 25 pounder, you're going to want this to have a 3 wrap. So once again, I'm going to bring my Hagens around. I'm going to slide this up. Now, you have to watch your clevis when you do this. But I'm going to slide it around, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to lock it down again. All right, and then I'm going to put it back into my, and I've got a little bit longer of a shank, see? So now, we got to watch that hook. Now, I have some turns. Instead of just that 1 turn, I've got 3 turns on here. So then I take this, and this is what we call tuning. So you want to take this and bend this back up so that it's straight with the shaft. And boom, we now have a 3.5. And believe it or not, this catches some really big salmon, you guys. The UV on this is amazing. This keeps the hook pretty much straight so that when that fish comes up from this way or from this way or from this way, and he goes to bite on this, he feels this. But it's soft all the way until the blade, right? So this is why we do this. So anyway, so I have about 50 of these to make, right? No, actually 60 of them. So I won't bore you guys with all that, but I will get some questions answered. Okay. Well, let's see. What do we got? Oh, Wesley, thank you for doing that. I hope everybody's gets to a chance to enjoy what we're doing with the volcano. And then today I was in powder coating a bunch of blades, and they just turned out just absolutely perfect. I gave it that last touch that I wanted it to make that eyeball roll around with that blade. So that color shift is some amazing stuff. With if you know what you're doing with it, you could actually make it look alive. Yes, Wesley, yes, Wesley Outdoors. It's godsentfishing.net is our online store. And then, of course, we have the store here in Waldport, Oregon as well. And you guys are welcome to come in. I'm open Thursday from 12 to 5, later in the day because a lot of people are still coming in. Friday, same thing, 12 to 5. Saturday and Sunday, I want to open up earlier, but I've been doing that, and I'm just not seeing a lot of people yet. So maybe I need to readjust those hours, but I would like to be in on Saturday morning at 5 and Sunday morning at 5 and go until we're not busy anymore, right? That way the fishermen can come in and get their salmon eggs, come in and get their sand shrimp. They can come in and get their herring. They can get their weights, their hooks, their, the terminal tackle that they're coming. If you're over here on the coast and you're from the valley, it's been said that, it's very expensive to buy everything over here. Well, that was before our store came around because that we are the manufacturer. And then when I buy very little, but we do have a distributor. And he treats us really well too, so we can still keep the valley prices over here for you all. So, and if we get busier, I'll open up more. I mean, you can go to the online store, put an order in, leave us an email, and I'll come down and fill it for you first thing in the morning. I mean, I'm up. I'm getting ready to go fishing. So just have your cash or your card ready. Or if you did it online, you already paid with card. Just be ready for me to hand it to you and go because I want to go fishing too. All right, so let's check this brisket and see how it's doing. It looks like it's starting to really roll, really just perfect. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is the trick, you guys, is that this Dutch oven is literally going to break this meat down, you guys. It's not going to be, it's going to be part the tomato and part the other, but really, truly, it's the Dutch oven that's breaking it down and giving it a lot of flavor too. All right, let's see how that goes. Okay, hot? Nope, not too bad. Yeah, see, it's at that nice slow roll right now, and that's where I want it to stay. So I'm going to turn this down just a hair. I'm going to cover it over, and we're going to actually time this for an hour now, you guys. Hang on, let me put this other tripod down. Okay. Okay. Just right. So I'll take you guys through a walk. The store here is really new. So we're still getting things in. But since, like I said, we're the manufacturers, um, we make our lead. So we start with a 4 ounce cannonball because then we're going to need that for trolling. We have fours, we have fives, we have sixes, we have eights, we have tens. That pretty much covers most of our coastal rivers around here. We have all of those for you guys at a really good price, by the way. We're 30 cents, except for if it has 30 cents an ounce, except for when it has a hook in it. We'll just, according to whatever the price of the hook is, we raise it like 5 cents. So, for the labor, that's about it. We're a soft plastic bait maker as well. Just so you know, if you are in the valley, this selection of short buses is going to grow. These are for our spin and joes that we make, but we also make a lot of soft plastics too. So you might want to come in and check that out. Where some of our colors and some of our beads that we've created and ones that we have coming are just really, really good for salmon and steelhead. So this is Chasing Chrome here. He actually tied these up for you guys. These are going to be some very good colors. This is the Spin and Joe. Here, let me show you what it looks like by itself. So this is the Spin and Joe, and I've been developing this over the last 4 years, and I am the originator of this. Everybody goes, well, that's the same as a Spin and Go or whatever. No, it's not. This is 100% different. First off, it's a soft plastic. Second off is the design of the wings is totally more out than what the other ones were. And there's a reason why we do this, but I just won't explain it. They work really good. That's something that everybody should have in their tackle box. So we have those in a 12 and a 16, and that's one of ours. We're the originators of it. We do have the hand painted that Bruce does for us. Sometimes these fish like this hand painted better than they do the machine painting, which obviously we do machine painting, right? I mean, we got quite a few. So that hand painting, let me tell you something. This one was a super hot one last year. The orange with the chartreuse with the blue dot and the white dot in the center. I caught a lot of fish on that one. The Mexi hat, pretty standard. But if it's a little bit different, sometimes the fish will hit it, and sometimes they don't like it perfect. But then we make all kinds of soft beads, you guys. I'm the inventor of the stinger bead. I brought back the soft okie, or the actual okie drifter, which was a hard bead. Now I call this the soft okie. I had this designed by a guy that's really, really good. And I've been using this since 2022. So this is a really good bead. It works. It works just like the heartbeat. It still floats the same, but it just depends on which way you set it up. So colors, not an issue. Got lots of those. We can literally make whatever we want. And then of course we make all of your big leads too. So these are 3-pounders. Don't drop this on your toe. This is for the halibut. So anyway, so we make all just, all different kinds of stuff for lingcod, halibut, rockfish. Really, we just about have it all, you guys. And if we don't have it and you want it and I get enough response for it, I'll just create it and have a bunch more made. So, but anyway, that's Godsend's Fishing Store for now. We do have clothes. We haven't put them up on the online store yet. Oh, and we have crab pots too. So our crab pots, actually, these are more expensive on the coast than what I have them for. That's a $40 pot, which is a dock ring. It just goes down and then you pull it up and the crab get trapped inside. And then we also have the boat rigs, which are these ones right here. So these ones are $40 and these ones are $50. So, I just don't think anybody can beat our price on those. So we'll see. And then we are going to have all of the baits that we need. I was waiting to see if the fish were actually getting on the herring or not. And, I've heard of a few fish caught on herring, but a lot of it has been this spin fish, which are these guys right here, which will carry the ones that are actually working. You stuff these full of tuna, and man, do they produce. So at a certain time, then they go to the spinners. Then, who knows what they do once they get further upriver. Oh, that's right, they go to eggs and bobbers. So that's the store in a nutshell. I'm going to keep working on that brisket inside of that volcano just to finish off the recipe for everybody. So in 1 hour, I'm going to open up those stewed tomatoes right there. And I'm going to put that stewed tomatoes inside of that Dutch oven with them. And then I'm going to let it cook for an hour and a half or until that brisket is totally tender. So I check it at an hour. Hour and a half seems to usually be where it's at. And then I'm going to fire up the Traeger because I happen to like that smoke flavor. And it only takes an hour. So I sometimes give it an hour and a half if I want to put like a honey glaze on it. Tonight, this one I'm going to put honey mustard on it, honey Dijon mustard, and then season it up a little bit. Then I'll wrap it up and let her cool down. So there you guys go. That's a 3-hour brisket, you guys, not unless you want to smoke it. So I highly recommend that you follow the video again and go get yourself a volcano and just read about all the cool things that they can do. Well, okay, everybody, you know what? I really thank you all for the likes. I hope that you subscribe. Our channel does a lot of really cool stuff. Of course, we had to go through the learning curve, which was difficult for me, but I'm getting better. And I'd rather do lives than I would do, the videos, because then you have to edit them, right? Whereas a live, it's more personable. So anyway, this is Godsend Fishing, everybody. I wish you a really happy Saturday. Just to let you know that our river went off last night. The salmon definitely came in. I would imagine that happened with the high tide that we had yesterday, happened just about all of the coastal rivers in the state of Oregon. There was another big run that came through. So happy hooking, everybody. Don't forget that we do a Monday night live. I usually do it on Kurt Sandin on Facebook, but it'll also be up on the Godsend Adventure. Join us. I'll give you the fishing report. We do some giveaways, some goodies occasionally. So come and join us. Everybody, happy hooking, and over and out. Smells good, don't it? Huh? Smells